Hi there, it's Kevin from RogueDeckBuilder.com here with another Rogue deck that I've been brewing. This is basically a combination of the good old Elfball back before the rotation, using Craterhoof Behemoth and Soul of the Harvest, and the new Junk Re-animator that we have been seeing a lot of going around. And I tried to combine the best of both worlds. No Angel of Serenity, no Grisslebrand in these versions. It is just Craterhoof Behemoth, which is the Unburial Rights target. But you can get off extremely quick kills, and you don't have to rely on the graveyard strategy to win, because with the Elvish Archdruids, you can generate enough mana to hard cast the Craterhoof Behemoth and just win right there. So let's go down the line here. For our Reanimator target, it is Craterhoof Behemoth. Soul of the Harvester is great in this deck. It can generate a ton of card advantage. There are games all you have to do is drop this, and then all of your little weenies start to come out, and you get a card for every one of them, and the Elvish Archdruid then can add for more mana, and then you hit a Village of Bellinger, untap the Elvish Archdruid, tap for a million more mana, cast a Craterhoof Behemoth. I don't know how many of you are familiar with Elfball. I would say it was fairly popular. I mean, it was no Delver, it was no Nyapod, but it was fairly popular. You ran into it quite a bit back in the good old Mirrodin, Scars of Mirrodin block, and Innistrad when those two were combined in Standard. Then we got the Unburial Rights, too good not to run. And then we go with Restoration Angel, a great target for Elvish Visionary. She has way too much utility not to include. So in my first initial trials, I used like Jared and the Guild Mage, the Elf Guild Mage, the Golgari one, but they were so pointless. I mean, Jared did get big, but he just kind of sat there. He didn't really do anything. He wasn't a finisher. He didn't help us change the board state when he got out. He just, like I said, he didn't do anything. So I cut him. I cut the Guild. I initially thought the Guild Mage, the Golgari Guild Mage, would be very good as well, being able to sacrifice a creature to add that many tokens, and that might work with Craterhoof Behemoth, but it never worked, so I cut it. Anyway, we'll go along down the line. Here's our big mana producer, great card. Then Elvish Visionary, auto include an elf, draws a card, replaces itself. And then we have our dredgers, our Grizzly Salvage, and our Mulch. And I don't know why oh, there's the fourth copy of the Mulch right there. So we are running 4 of both. Then the Deathrite Shaman, with the Mulch it can actually be a mana producer as well. Happens a lot. This is just such a boss card right now, being able to exile instances of sorceries. And also it's so great versus red deck wins, being able to gain life. Then Arbor Elf. Yeah, sometimes he misses and there's nothing to untap, but there's plenty of forests in this, running 3 regular forests and 8 of the Ravnica dual forests with Overgrown Tomb and Temple Gardens. Now we are only running 20 lands. I was checking the old Elfball list, and most either ran 20 or 21, and I know a lot of the Junk Re-animators run up to 25 lands, but so far I haven't had a problem with lands. In fact, a lot of times it's the exact opposite. I'm getting too much lands, and I know it sounds crazy, it's only 20 lands, but I'm going to keep playtesting with it, and if we end up getting mana screwed too much, I will add some more. I don't know exactly what I'll cut, probably a couple Restoration Angels, put them in the sideboard, and we'll just go from there. The sideboard is I'm still trying to figure out the best sideboard. We did get blown out of the water in a game where he played Ground Seal, and then I was unable to target anything with a Deathrite Shaman, and unable to use my Unburial Rights, and it really hurt me. So Lingering Souls, I haven't even sided them in one game yet. I'm trying to figure out what they would be good for. Probably very aggressive decks I'd put them in against. But once again, this sideboard isn't fully developed yet. We're still dinking around with it. Vraska is just a toolbox if I need to destroy. I put her in after the Ground Seal game. Gives me either that. I was thinking of that or Acidic Slime. I'm thinking Vraska might have a little more utility than Acidic Slime. Other than Acidic Slime does work very well with Restoration Angel. So trying to figure out exactly which one I want to use, and once again, it'll take more playtesting to determine that. Then we have an Elderscale Wurm. This card's great against zombies and great against red deck wins. You can get it out a lot of times third turns if you second turn Mulch into a Unburial Rights and throw this into the ground. So get an Elderscale Wurm. There really isn't anything they can do. You win because some zombie lists run Dreadbore, but a lot of them like to go burn instead. Dodges Abrupt Decay. I guess Ultimate Price can hit it, but a lot of decks aren't even using Ultimate Price right now. So red deck wins, and zombies sometimes have 0 ways to get rid of it. Sever the Bloodline. I put this in after I was facing some Olivia decks and some other decks that I might think were problematic. It's my only removal. It's just 2 of them in the sideboard. I don't know exactly what if we should use Oblivion Rings or anything else if we want to use any more utility. The whole object of this game is just to overwhelm them before they have a chance to respawn. So if we bring in too much creature removal, it really screws that plan over. Then we got our Thragtusk. I'm using just 3 of them. They're a little clunky. The life gain's awesome, but sometimes we can just race those aggro decks. But I did put 3 in the sideboard. Then we can go back to the good old Restoration Angel Thragtusk strategy. Center Healer is another option, but I think Thragtusk is just a little bit better. Great target for Unburial Rights as well. Yeva, she's my anti-control card. I actually use her in my deck that I run around locally, my junk. I like to call it kind of junk mid-range junk control, and she's great against control. Sometimes those matchups go 20 turns into the match, and you can just hold on when they have like a couple Jaces out and the other Planeswalker, the Tapper. I can't think of her name right now. Anyway, Yeva can then come down at the end of the turn, and you can actually flash in a ton of crap. Like one time I flashed in a Borderland Ranger and a Thragtusk at the end of turn, and was able to swing and kill both his Planeswalkers and eventually take the game because of it. And then this is another anti-control card. You bring in Garruk Primal Hunter, and he can single-handedly overwhelm games. This card is becoming incredibly popular, and rightfully so, against those very grindy American Miracles and Bant control decks. Garruk has a lot of resilience, and he is a finisher by himself. So once again, dinking around with this build. Haven't played very many matchups, but so far so good. I really like it. It's extremely fun to play. It's extremely fun to watch your opponent scoop after the CA Craterhoof Behemoth. So I'll record some games here. I did play 2 games, but only 1 match recorded, so I think I'm going to put them together and post them. So once again, this is Kevin from RogueDeckBuilder.com. Thanks for watching.